Hey tribe, it's Suzanne. I wanted to come on here. I just did a video on my main Facebook page, but I wanted to come in and do a little bit of a twist on the video for my tribe here on the Redefine Your Purposes page. So if you looked at the title of this video, it's, is that a self-help book or just beautifully packaged bullshit? And I'm getting right out of the gate, I'm coming in with this strong because this is something that a lot of people might not see or realize or understand, but I am speaking it the way I see it. So I'm gonna be honest with you guys, like I said in the title of this video, I think a lot of self-help books are beautifully packaged bullshit. And what do I mean by that? I don't mean that the people who write these books and take the time to tell their stories and share what has helped them get from where they were to where they are. Certainly there's value to that. Certainly I have read my share of self-help books and have felt inspired. I've used the highlighter, I've dog-eared the pages, I've read them over and over and over again to the point where the binding is broken or pages are falling out. There's certainly value to self-help books, but what I mean by the beautifully packaged bullshit, and I cannot take all the credit for that because a friend of mine is the one who actually shared that phrase with me and I thought it was brilliant, is just simply this. There are so many things out there that we are inspired by every single day. Self-help books are one of those big things if you're a reader of them. Think about all the authors and all the trending authors that come to mind, or the trending book titles that come to mind that we've read. Friends have recommended them. We see them all over social media. People tell us we have to read this, we have to read it, and we do. And there's value to reading this stuff. Certainly, they are relatable. Certainly, we read them and say, "Oh my gosh, that's me," or we laugh at the candid, the candid. All of the experiences that the author has gone through. Right? They can be very relatable, and whether it's books, whether it's following somebody on social media and relating to them, whether it's looking at documentaries on TV or whatever it might be, there are so much inspiration out there for us. But what I mean by the word bullshit is simply this, that we can be inspired by so many things. We can be inspired by a quote. We can be inspired by music. We can be inspired by somebody's story. We can be inspired by the process somebody has shared they have gone through and say to ourselves, holy shit, I think that will work for me. Or, oh my gosh, I need to take these steps. But what happens is we get to a point where we're inspired, we're ready to go. And usually what happens is the air slowly starts to come out of our balloon because life gets in the way. Our normal day-to-day activities take over us and we start to forget that inspiration. How many people can relate to this? I think so many of us can, myself included. And what happens is, as much value as what we read in those self-help books brings to the table, we lose it, and it goes from here, super inspiration, and it starts to fade and fade and fade and fade, and then we can't connect to it anymore. And the problem with that is we lose that fire that was in us when we were reading that. The reason why we took out that highlighter and ferociously highlighted all of those passages, the reason why we dog-eared, the reason why we go back, we tend to lose it over time because we're not applying it to our life. And are we not applying it to our life because we don't want to? No, we're not applying it to our life because most of us don't know how to, because we don't know how to fit it in. We don't know where to start. We don't know what to do with it. We want to do something with it, but we don't know how. And that's where so much of what I've built and the foundation of how I've built the programs that I offer online is so inspirational because of what I'm sharing here. Most of the time, I would say probably 95% of the people that get on a discovery or clarity call with me, when I talk to them, most of these people have read self-help books, love self-help books, have a stack of them on their nightstand. People who are inspired by others, people who want to, incorporate some of the strategies they see other people who have been, in their eyes, successful incorporating. And what happens is they don't know how to apply it. They say to me, Suzanne, I'm so inspired by, just using a trending name, I'm so inspired by Brene Brown. I'm so inspired by Rachel Hollis. I'm so inspired by X, Y, and Z. I totally relate to them, but I just don't know what to do with this information. I don't know how to apply it to my life. And that's why I'm calling you, because I need some help getting into action. I know what I want to do. I know how I want to move forward, but I don't know how. And that's where I come in. So let me ask you guys this. When you read these books, when you get inspired, what do you do with that inspiration? Do you post about it on social media? Nothing wrong with that. Do you take a quote from the book and share it and say, this is the quote of the day? But what do you actually do with that information? What are you doing behind the scenes? How are you incorporating that philosophy or that inspiration or that story or that process into your life? Ask yourself that. Most of the time, we don't know how to do that. We want to do it, but we don't know how. So that's why, when I go back to the beginning of this video, that's my rationale for connecting to this really funny saying that my friend shared with me about self-help books being beautifully packaged bullshit. The information in them isn't bullshit. I trust that most people who write these books or are inspired to write these books aren't feeding us a load of crap. They're coming from a place of truth. They're coming from a place of transparency in their life. The bullshit comes is when I read this self-help book, I'm all of a sudden going to be able to do what this person did. That's where the bullshit lies. The bullshit lies in the fact that when I pick up this book and once I read this book, everything's going to transform for me in my life. Everything's going to be different. That's the bullshit that lies within these books. It's not the information in the books. It's the idea that when I read these books, when I apply this, after I watch this documentary, when I follow this person on social media and understand their process, I'm all of a sudden going to be able to do all of these things. That's the expectation that we oftentimes have. And when that expectation doesn't happen, then that's when the air comes out of the balloon. That's when we start feeling less inspired. That's when we start questioning our value. And that's where I want you to stop, because you do not have to be in a place like that anymore. You can take what is inspiring about this to me. How do I apply this to my life? And maybe I need to incorporate, maybe I can't rely on myself to do this. Maybe I have to find somebody that can help me through this. And that, guys, is the foundation of why I've built everything that I have. And when I get on these discovery calls with these people who are at a point where they're done with their bullshit and they want to start making changes and they want to start transforming, even though they recognize it's going to be hard and they don't know how to do it, when they get on these free discovery calls with me, and they say to me, I'm inspired by these things. I want to do these things. I just don't know how. That's when I walk them through the process of how they're going to be able to do this through my assistance. So I just wanted to come on here and share that with you guys. Always wanting to rattle some cages, always wanting to get you guys inspired, always wanting you guys to think beyond your thoughts, right? Think beyond and deeper. So if you have any questions, if you have any thoughts, if you want to get on a discovery call with me, which I totally welcome you, 30 minutes, free discovery call, you pick the time that works for you in my schedule, then let's do it. Stop feeling like you can't, stop feeling stuck. Take that inspiration and move yourself forward, because you are deserving and worthy of that. I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you for listening, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.